What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another Touch Up Tuesday. This week we're getting after the garage shop truck. It's a 2018 Ford F-150 Limited, and between running to go grab parts to heading to the burger joint for lunch, this thing gets its fair share of abuse. We hop in, hop out, take it to where we need to go, bring it back. Nobody's really concerned with keeping it clean, and if we're honest, we actually haven't washed it since we got it. Needless to say, the truck needs some TLC. With that being the case, we're going to throw everything we've got at it. It's going to be a great opportunity to show you what it takes to do a complete wash on something that's extremely dirty. On this episode, we'll start with the basics of an exterior wash. We'll clean the wheels and the tires, and then we'll move on to the paint and bodywork of the truck. In future episodes, we're going to attack the interior and jump into some paint decontamination along with a light surface correction. Before we get started, you want to park the car or truck in a shaded area. Make sure the surface is cool to the touch. This will help ensure products aren't drying on the car or truck prior to rinsing them off. We're going to start with the wheels and tires. We clean these before the paint because they're the dirtiest. Plus, if we wait until after our wash, we run the risk of splashing dirt and brake dust back onto the clean paint. There's a major fundamental to point out here. You want to always avoid cross-contamination. Use tools and buckets specifically designated for your wheels. Obviously, your wheels are full of brake dust and road grime. The last thing you want to do is take the wash mitt you're going to use for your paint and wipe down your wheels. It's only going to grab the sharp brake dust particles, trap them in your mitt, and then scratch or swirl your paint when you wash it later on in the process. When cleaning your wheels, it's important to note that you work one at a time. You never want to apply cleaner to all four wheels and then start detailing them. As far as tools are concerned, you'll need a bucket dedicated for your wheels. We filled ours with water along with our JLG Clean Strip shampoo. We're also using an easy detail brush, a fender brush, along with our boar's hair detailing brushes to get in the nooks of the wheel and lug nut recesses. Use your desired wheel cleaner for the barrel and the face of the wheel. The nice thing about the easy detail brush is it can bend to fit in tighter areas. I like to give it a 90-degree bend to get behind the wheel spokes. While you're here, make sure you give the wheel wells a good scrub too. Repeat this process on all four wheels. Once you're done with the wheels, we're going to focus our attention on the paint. First, rinse everything down to knock off as much dirt as possible. We could use a pressure washer and a foam cannon here, but we want to walk through the basics, so we'll stick to the tools that most of us have available on our driveway. We've got our rinse and wash buckets prepped and ready to go. We're using our Clean Strip shampoo on the body as well. With it being so dirty, we're going to need the extra cleaning power. We'll grab our wash mitt, load it up with soapy water. The order we normally wash in is to start with the roof and the glass of the car, then we wash the hood and top of the trunk. After that, we'll wash the top half of the sides of the car. This is typically the area just below the windows to just above the rocker panels. Once we're finished there, we move on to the front grille and front bumper area. Once we've finished up front, then we can shoot to the rear of the car or truck and clean either the tailgate or the bumper area. We save the lower rocker panels for the very last. Don't forget to thoroughly rinse your wash mitt between each section. This will help avoid imparting those pesky swirls and scratches. If it's a rather hot day or you just can't find shade to wash in, we'd suggest rinsing the car or truck between every major section. This will help avoid soap drying on the surface and causing you a bunch of extra time and effort to remove it. Once the truck was completely washed, we gave it a good final rinse just to make sure all the soap residue is gone. From this point, we're going to focus on drying. There's a number of ways you can dry a car or truck after a wash. Our favorite is to use compressed air for the simple fact that you aren't touching the paint with anything. The less you touch it, the less chance you have to scratch or swirl it. But we know not everyone has that luxury, so instead, we're going to use the drying aid along with 2 microfiber towels. Drying aids help lubricate your drying towel. They also aid in water absorption. Plus, they leave behind a layer of protection. Some may use a wax as a protective barrier. We're using our Evaporate drying aid. This specific blend leaves behind a synthetic sealant to help shield against the elements. As far as using a drying aid is concerned, it's a fairly straightforward process. We use 2 towels. One is damp and the other is dry. I like to spray a little Evaporate on the damp towel and then a few sprays onto the wet panel itself. With the damp towel, start to dry the car or truck one panel at a time. Absorb as much water as you can, and then come back through with the dry towel and buff the surface to a high gloss shine. Repeat this on each panel until you've dried the entire vehicle. After the body was dried, we moved on to the wheels and tires. You can certainly use a towel here, but we opted to move to compressed air because we were running short on time and we wanted to blast all the excess water out of the hard to reach areas. Once we got the wheels nice and dry, we came back through and applied a coat of tire and trim care to shine the rubber up. It's also going to help avoid any browning in the future. Take a look at it now. Talk about a transformation. In next week's episode, we'll tackle the interior. As you can see, it's thrashed. We're certainly going to have our work cut out for us. And that's it for this week's Touch Up Tuesday. We hope you enjoyed it and maybe even learned a thing or two. Let us know what you think in the comments below. If you'd like to see us cover some other popular detailing topics, drop us a line at info@lenosgarage.com. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and like our Facebook page. You can pick up all the products used in this video and others at lenosgarage.com. Links are in the description below. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.